So, hi. 10 questions, right? 10. So, here we go. So, how do we find, this is not volume, this is surface area. And what surface area refers to, in case you forgot, is the area of this surface. So really, that surface is a rectangular prism. And if you remember from way back, a few days ago, the net, which is if you unfold that, what will it look like? The net of a rectangular prism with its 6 sides is going to look something like this. Yeah. Well, it's going to be more like this. And its surface area. So if you unfold it, basically think of it this way, in case you forget. If you unfold that box, or that rectangular prism, if you're able to unfold it, what would be the total area of all of these surfaces? So that's 6 rectangles. So you just take base times height 6 times. Okay, that's it. Base times height 6 times. However, they give you 3 numbers, don't they? So it's a little bit more complicated than that. So what you have is, you have a length of 8 right here. So, and you have a height of 6. So I'm going to put, this is going to be a little bit confusing because of my perspective. So this is, I'll just tell you what I do, because I've already shown it to you. I just take those numbers times themselves, okay? Just take the numbers times themselves. You're going to have 3 separate combinations, 1, 2, and 3. The order doesn't matter. 5 and 6, 5 and 6, good. 8 and 5, good. And then we're going to do 8 and 6. Okay? So, I'm just finding the area based on height. So, half of the total area is going to be these 3 numbers added together. That's going to be half the total area, because we see this is a 6, there's 6 faces to this, or 6 sides to this shape. Okay? This is 6, this is 5. You multiply them, that has an area of 30. This right here, this face has an area of 48, and this face right here has an area of 40. And the 3 sides that we don't see are all going to have the exact same areas as well, because you're going to have these same rectangles twice. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add these numbers, and then I'm going to double it, and that's going to give me the answer. That's all you need to do. Take 118 times 2, that's going to give you the answer. And that's the process. So for this one, surface area of this, you know this is going to be 3 times 2. This right here is going to be 4 times 3. And then at the very top, the top and bottom are the same. The left and right are the same, and the front and the back are going to have the same area. So this area right here is going to be 8. So I'm going to take those 3 numbers, add them together, and then I'm just going to multiply that times 2, and I get my answer. So how did I get those numbers? In case you weren't paying attention, I did 4 times 2. That's 1. I need all 3 numbers times each other. Then I'm going to do 3 times 2, which is right here. And then I have 4 times 3, and that's my last one. There you go. So do 26 times 2, and you're good. So for this one, you guys should know what to do. Take 4 times 4, 4 times 1.7, and now this one's a little bit confusing because I did 4 times 4, I did 4 times 1.7, and I also now need to do this. So I'm going to do 4 times 1.7 again. So that's going to give you 16, obviously. You need to do that on your own. You need to do that on your own. And then, after you do, I want you to add to get the answer. And that is going to be the surface area for the 3 sides that you see. This side, the area of that, the area of that, and the area of that. You can't see all 6 sides though. You just have half of them. So you need to double that number from 3 to go from 3 to 2. To go from 3 to 2, trying to kill a mosquito. To go from 3 to 2, you're gonna have to double it. So take whatever answer you get right here, multiply it times 2, and you're good to go. Be careful with the decimals. Number 5. Oh, I just messed up. I didn't even realize it. And I apologize. That's my fault. Do not do what I just said. And some of you are going to miss it, and you're going to blame me. So, class, I'm so sorry. This is the volume question. It says, what is the volume? And I even put it in all caps. I didn't even read it. And I bet you some of you did the same thing. So volume, you're just taking all three of these numbers times each other. There. Multiply 4 times 1.7. That's going to give you the answer. So forget everything else that I just said. Sorry about that. I threw that in to kind of confuse you, and I confused myself because I wasn't reading the answers. Everything else is going to be surface area. Now for this one, surface area. What you're dealing with here. So you can't see it, but the bottom of this shape is a rectangle. That's a rectangle. The other side is a rectangle. And then you have two triangles, one at the front, and then you can't see one at the back. So we need 5 different areas that we're going to add up. This surface, this shape has 5 surfaces, 5 faces. We take the area of each face, add them together, and we're done. Now this triangle has a base of 6 and a height of 4. So you multiply, so let's cut this in half, and then multiply, and the area of that triangle is 12. Some people would multiply first to get 24 and then cut that in half, and you would still get 12. In class, that's the front. The area of this is 12. What about the triangle right here that you can't see? What's the area of that triangle if the dimensions are the same? What's the same? The other triangle is going to have an area of 12 because it has a base of 6 and a height of 4. Now we have the bottom. So that is the base. What's the area of the base if it's a 6 by 8 rectangle? Well, just multiply 6 by 8. And the base is going to be 48. And then you have, I'm going to go black. You have this rectangle right here, which is 5 across by 8. And so you're going to have 2 rectangles with a 5 by 8. And 5 by 8 is 40. So now your last step is to add up all of these numbers, and you are done. Okay? For this one, you have a front and a back triangle. You have the base, the bottom is going to be blue. And then you have these. Oof. Then you have, basically consider this the roof, okay? You have 2 sides for the roof. So there's 2, you can only see one side, but there are 2 sides of the roof. Now the roof measurements are 10 by 10. The base is going to be 10 across and 12. And then the triangle is going to be 12 across, and the height of both of those is going to be 8. Okay? So you do half of 12 to get 6 times 8, you get 48. This is going to be the same. This is 12 times 10, that's 120. This is 10 times 10, that's 100. I'm going to switch colors. And then the area of this rectangle is 100 as well. Add up all those 5 numbers together and you get your answer, okay? That's the surface area. And then for this one, you are on your own for this. Figure out the dimensions of the 5 different shapes. We found areas of rectangles. We found areas of triangles. And you just find those 5 times. And then add them together and you're good to go. If that one's confusing, then look at how I did number 6 again. You should figure it out. Number 8, this one's a little bit different. This is a pyramid. Now, if I put the net of this figure as a square pyramid, will look like this. And here's the good news. All 4 triangles are exactly the same measurements. And those measurements are 7 is the height and 7 is the base. Oh, I did not want to do that. So 7 is the base. So if you have a triangle, which is a 7 by 7, well, yeah, you would multiply and then cut it in half. And 49 cut in half is going to be 24.5. Okay? So this is the area of each one of these triangles. It's 24 and a half. And you have 4 of those triangles. So multiply 24.5 times 4, and you get the area of all of these. And then all you have left to do is find the area of this base. And I will shade in the base right here. Now this is the base. That's 7 by 7. So multiply these two numbers together. You're going to get 49. So this answer you get right here, you're going to add 49 to. Don't let the decimals confuse you. Actually, there shouldn't be a decimal. And you will be done. And you'll have your answer. Number 9, you do the same way. You have your base, which is a square. That's not a square. That's a little bit better. That's 9 by 9. So find the area of that shape. And then you have 4 triangles. So this has a height of 8 and a base length of 9. So you're going to find the area of that triangle, which is base times height, and then cut that in half. Or you can take 8, cut it in half, and multiply. So whatever your area is going to be, this is going to be your area. Remember, you have 4. That's a square pyramid. So you're going to multiply that number times 4. So you're going to find the area of those 4 triangles, multiply it times 4, because all 4 triangles will have the exact same area. And then this number plus this number will be added together. And then you will have, once you add those 4 numbers together, these 4 numbers plus this number, you have your total surface area, which would tell you, like if somebody wanted to paint all of this, every side, front, back, side to side, top, bottom, how much paint would they use in square inches? That's what the surface area would tell you. And then the last question is actually a little bit more difficult because it is a triangular pyramid. So it is not a square base. It is it's a triangular base, which means we have only 3 triangles that as a net. Now those triangles, they have a base length of 2, and they have a height of 3, except for the middle one. Okay? So this middle one, this one right here, that triangle has a base length of 2, which is right here. And look at that, the height is actually 1.7. I know, right? But here's the good news. Let's do this. Take half of this number. You can take 1.7 times 2 and then cut that answer in half. Or you could take 2. You could cut that in half. What's half of 2? And then multiply. So the area of that is 1.7. Now we just have 3 more. The area of this,
Can I please have the fire extinguisher inspector please stop by the main office?
Divided by 2. So the area of this triangle and this triangle and this triangle, they're all 3. So you can take 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus that number, and you add them together and you get your answer. And I'm done.